Okay, the crypto market is getting out of control. Right now, it seems that everybody is panicking and that there's no bull run anymore. That the bull run that we saw the last 2 times is not going to be repeated this time around. And that the highest point for Bitcoin has already been achieved. Matter of fact, that altcoins will only start going down from here. And that if you have not sold already, you're basically too late. You're broke. You're going to lose all your money. That's the narrative, the internet, when it comes to crypto. You know, the news sources have been giving me. That's the impression that I would get if I wasn't better informed. If I only got my news from one side, this is exactly what I would believe, because that exactly is their goal. I've said it many times on the channel. They want you to sell. Let's be realistic. The times are gonna start getting crazier and crazier as we get closer to an election and as August, September are thrown out the window. These historically are not where the bulls are at. No, they're in Q4, the last 3 months of the year. Now, I don't think I have to tell the people on the channel, you know, the people that watch these shows every day, every week, something along those lines, this anymore, but I'll still say it just to make people understand my vision. Right now, let me tell you, I am not a financial advisor. All right, whatever I'm saying right here is just my own humble opinion, but I personally think that we have not seen the highest point of the cycle yet. Matter of fact, I believe that cryptos peaked a little bit faster than they usually would. You know, the March area was a little bit too fast of a move. Usually, we don't break the all-time high before the halving, and usually we only start doing that, let's say about 9 months or so after the halving, let's say slightly earlier, and we peak about, let's say, a year and a half after the halving. So in this case here, if the halving was in April of 2024, let's say the highest point of this season is going to be achieved around a year from now. That's, I think, where cryptos will start to fall again, or at least for the most part, Bitcoin. And I hold dearly to that, like to the fullest. You know why? Because I can deviate from it. And I can start saying, you know what, maybe this time around, cryptos will actually start dropping here like crazy and everything goes to zero. But I think from a risk reward perspective, it is very much worth it for me to just hold on to what has worked for crypto since its inception. Just like how the stock market always goes up, I believe the same thing will apply to Bitcoin, and so it's just a matter of patience. But in the meantime, there are a lot of interesting things that I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen. So let's cover some of the news. Let's cover some of the stuff that's going on. First of all, there's a meme coin I got into today that is absolutely destroying it. Saw it launch and almost up only from there. And that's the thing about memes, right? This one is called Puffy, slightly different than the usual cat and dog memes we've covered recently. And since they've got such a solid team, I honestly think it could go pretty far. But earlier, I believe they had trending #1 as well. Probably will come later again. But here's the thing when it comes to these coins, right? Some people are offset or put off by the fact that it's already gained a lot and you missed the launch of the launch. What I always say is the most amount of gains are gotten in this initial part, and that is absolutely 1000% true. But when it comes to some of the memes like Brett and a couple of others, they were still able to go to $1 billion, for example, over the span of a few months. And this right now at 5 million, it's in my opinion rather low if it gets that pop off. But since these guys are experienced at what they do, again, not financial advice, it's just my thoughts. They've got a lot of community incentives, a lot of giveaways, everything from the start. What I kind of sense is they put a lot of money into this to make it work, to hopefully take over Solana. Again, here's an example of somebody buying the earliest point, but also selling at the earliest point. So he made $500, but you know, if he had held on a little bit longer, could have made 800K. Anyway, you don't have to ape in all the way straight away. You know, do as you please, but keep it on your radar. It's a coin I hold for the longer term. I think it could do pretty well. Because again, it's got some good people behind it. Having said that, really, the meme coin space recently has been so exciting. And I've been really, for the most part, focused on Tron related ones. And I think it's kind of hurting me because the Tron ecosystem is just so much harder, man. Like when it comes to Solana, it's been around for a little while, so I got the ins and outs of it. But Tron is so new and it's being shielded so hard by Justin's son. Every single day, he's just posting like crazy about Sun Pump, etc. But I think for the most part, that's because Pump.Fun, which is the main meme coin launcher that we used to know, he tried to replicate that over on Tron. Pump.Fun made $100 million in the last year or so. I don't know since when they incepted, but they've already made $100 million in revenue. Justin's son probably saw that and was like, damn, we have to go for this. But also on the opposite side, 1 million memes have been created already, which is pretty mind-boggling to me because it kind of destroyed meme coins, the fact that it's right now so easy to make. since most of them, I'm going to say 99% of them, don't make it above one buy, above the $5,000 mark. But getting back to it, I honestly believe that September is like the waited out month. Even August, I didn't expect was going to be so nice, and it turns out it wasn't. But October, right? This is what I said earlier in the video, is usually where things go absolutely crazy, just absolutely mind-boggling. Now, this pre-search fan here had an interesting little post. He says, not election year as in history. If it repeats itself, so November after election results. I don't know exactly what he meant with that little sentence of his, but I think what he meant to say was things are about to rip, even potentially in September, or at least September marking the bottom in at least the election years. Well, you know, looking at this chart, though, September has kind of been awful, always. But October has been absolutely ripping. Then again, I guess from that theory, September might mark the bottom for where things just go absolutely spiraling out of control. And that's the thing. I am a person, I prefer to hold on to things for a slightly longer term with a lot of volatility in the midst rather than being in and out of positions every single second. I mean, there's a lot of trading strategies I could show you that require you to be in and out of positions. For example, if you want to trade RSIs, you try to buy every single time the RSI is showing oversold on any time frame, really, for that matter. Depends on how often you want to trade. Now, obviously, you got to pair this with a couple different things, but for the most part, if you try to buy every single time the RSI shows oversold, you might have to trade quite a lot, you know, almost every single day, but it could work out really nicely, but it might be a lot of stress. I care more about taking Bitcoin from this 50, maybe 40, right? I don't care, from this 40 to $70,000 range, all the way up to the 120s, 160s, maybe 250s, and altcoins then going from, let's say, an Ethereum going from like the 2000s, right? You know, 1,800 to 30,000 to 3,000. I mean, that area to 10,000, something like that. It doesn't matter too much what the price is at or how many months it's been hovering for, because I want to catch that entire wave. Think about it. Let's say it takes some time for you to get those crazy gains, but it's a 4, 5, or 6x on your main pairs, and then a 10, 15, 25x on all the smaller altcoins you buy along the road. It's worth waiting some time for. It's worth it to be wrong for a bit, to be at a loss or see your portfolio go down a bit, to see it gain so massively over time. And I just don't want to miss it. I don't want to be the guy to give up and sell, I'll buy back later, and then miss it. I just can't deal with that mentally. I prefer to be on the wrong side of history for a little bit while everything comes crumbling down, because I know it's going to be over. I know already that if Bitcoin right now goes to $50,000, even $40,000, I'm still here really comfortably. Yes, I'm going to lose a lot of value in my portfolio. Sure. Could I have better sold to buy back? Sure. But I don't like to deal with all that too much. I just know that if I close my eyes today and I look back in a few months, it'll be up like crazy. So what I'm going to do is not care too much about the day-to-day price, but just try to buy consistently. If it goes down a ton, I try to buy significantly harder. And then in a few months, all will be good again. That's my own personal vision. I think most of the people watching the channel agree with me on that. And in the meantime, I do a lot of fun, small stuff. I try to buy memes here and there. We also do trading, but it's all side stuff. It's besides the main holding theory. But I've got a lot of cool videos coming. I've also got another trade tutorial coming out here. Just subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of all that stuff. If you want to know more about trading, and realize that this week was also not good for the institutions. The ETH ones, they just keep on selling. One day of positive, really, and almost positive just now, but even the Bitcoin ones were quite negative here. Overall, though, guys, the institutions are stacking up, but the retail is afraid. I keep telling you, they're in it for the longer season, not here for a few days or a few weeks. This is gonna get big. And it means a lot, the fact that they've been buying so much recently. Maybe the election is what everything's going to start playing around. It's definitely possible. I know that the next FOMC meeting could also be rather interesting, even though most of it is already priced in. But I'm ready. I'm not giving up. And I think this is going to go so crazy. But yeah, make sure you also go follow me, or at least give a look over on my IG if you haven't done it yet. It's where I post a lot more personal stuff. You know, you want to get to know me better? Take a look at Instagram over there. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video, hopefully somewhere later today. Yeah, I got a couple of cool things coming out, so later today.